Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome back to our IXION Let's Play, where things are actually going relatively smoothly, all things considered, and with this absolutely massive storm now behind us, I feel as though we might be home free, at least in this system. Now, there are still some objectives that need completing, and they will take some time and effort, and let's not forget that yes, danger lurks behind every click. As we learned last session, folks, when we tried to bring back a live missile to the Tiqqun, I'll explain why in just a moment, but all that to say this, just because the storm is behind us, it's not all rainbows and unicorns and sunshine and daisies. There are still dangers abound, though with the storm behind us, I feel as though the biggest threat of Theta Crucis is gone, and that does give me at least some comfort. Obviously, I am mourning the loss of those excellent scientists and the science ship Galileo as well, but the decision was not made lightly. I've seen many of you ask, Party, what were you thinking with that call to bring a live missile back to the Tiqqun without defusing it? And you're right. In the real world, if you have the misfortune of ever coming across ordnance, the first order of business is to call the authorities and not do anything yourself, but when they come through, the first thing they'll try and do is defuse the ordnance, or at least make sure it's been defused, and only then will they try and dispose of it. You're not supposed to move live ordnance, but folks, the reason why I wanted to bring that thing back to the Tiqqun live was because I thought maybe we'd be able to jerry-rig our probe launcher into being a torpedo launcher, or maybe there would be an upgrade to the probe launcher uncovered when we brought that missile launcher back to maybe build a separate thing similar to the probe launcher but that actually acts as a torpedo launcher. Or maybe this question mark had to do with offensive capabilities, so that when we actually met the Piranesi, we weren't coming empty-handed, to put it politely, I suppose. Was I wrong? Absolutely. There's no shame in that. Mistakes happen. Unfortunately, when you're in a position of power and authority, mistakes can sometimes cost lives. And so, oops. I do feel very bad about the loss of life. I mean, it really sucks. We were doing so well, and we took a huge risk there, but it was for good reason. I had the lives of the 2,300 people aboard the station in mind, and I had the lives of the additional 1,500 or so we're expecting as well on mind, and I made the wrong call. And you might be wondering, Party, what situation are you talking about where someone might come across live ordnance in real life? It happens. It really depends on where in the world you live, but if it does happen, don't do anything yourself. Call the authorities, and yeah, the first thing they'll do is make sure it's diffused so they're not moving live ammunition around. Anyway, folks, no use crying over spilt milk, or spilt blood, as the case may be. It's time to move on and make sure everything else moves smoothly and that those lives were not lost in vain. Now, many of you pointed out that I actually have a stockpile of iron here at this docking bay, and the reason that's happening is because we had reassigned these stockpiles, and now since none of them are actually holding on to iron, our entire sort of movement of resources has come to a grinding halt. So let's temporarily get this cryonic pod stockpile, stockpiling iron instead. And if we double check our resource management over here, we'll see, yes, Sector 3 is not looking to store any iron, and it is exporting to Sector 2, which is looking to stockpile all the iron it can, and then process that into alloys, which then proceeds to get exported to wherever it's needed. Now, I do have some plans with regards to this haphazardness. Many of you have some suggestions with regards to what to do for Sector 4, and I've read them all, and they're very much in line with what I was thinking as well. I feel as though we actually need an additional industrial sector. Not just an industrial sector, but a cargo sector as well, just storage and processing, because our electronics factory right now is a prime example of part of the bottleneck. We're producing electronics as quickly as we possibly can. We have 100 almost silicon at the stockpile, so it's almost topped up, and we have almost 300 at this docking bay as well. So we've got the silicon. What we don't have is the ability to transform it into electronics. So we need more factories. We need to pick up the pace on some of this stuff. And at the same time, we need more storage. We can't store this stuff at these docking bays because, well, it results in a massive bottleneck. So my plans for Sector 4 have to do with, I think, an additional industrial sector, which will focus on processing perhaps primarily electronics and and polymers, and storage as well as a primary concern. But I'm not actually going to open that fourth sector until I'm sure that I can't just open the sector, but I can also get the train station going right away. If I don't build a train station right when the sector is open, we'll need to build an infirmary, and then what was the point of waiting for this health center to be built, right? On top of that as well, having just one health center makes me very uncomfortable. If this thing goes down for a reason or another, we're lacking any redundancies. And that's not a good thing, especially when it comes to the lives of the people on board the Tiqqun. So, I'll want to build that redundancy sooner rather than later. That'll take electronics. We're trying to build some of these solar panels. That'll take electronics. So there's quite a few reasons why I'm not rushing for that sector expansion. Yeah, there's a bit of pressure there, but we're doing okay for the most part. And I just wanted to address that because I saw a couple of comments sort of asking about it. And I saw one in particular mention that we have the population to sustain this fourth sector. Why are we still waiting? Let's not forget that the surplus population isn't a huge waste or anything. In fact, our population is part of what's allowing us to have such high stability across our three sectors. So I'm actually okay with how our population is being used right now. Sector 3 has a stability of 3, Sector 2 has a stability of 3, and Sector 1 has a stability of 4. So our extra population is actually working out quite nicely. Though, yes, don't get me wrong. I would like to open Sector 4. I would like to get that industrial sector up and running. I just have some priorities, I think, that supersede the opening of additional sectors. And one of those priorities is the electronics needed, again, not just to open the sector, but to get the train station up and running as well. Nonetheless, I digress, folks. None of that will happen if we stay paused. So let's get time moving as we actually make some adjustments in Sector 1 with regards to that stability situation, right? We have a stability of 4 right now. This is the ideal time to get rid of this alternative life center to make room for our larger battery over here. So in the interest of doing that, I'm actually going to go ahead and build replacement mess halls up over here so that we'll have room to feed the people in this sector, and we'll be able to demolish these 2 mess halls, which will then allow us to move the alternative life center down over here. And if I've done my math right, and I was checking before I started recording this session, but if I've done my math right, then this alternative life center is how big? It is 5 by 6. And if we take a look over here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it fits pretty much perfectly right next to the insect farm. Though, we're actually going to demolish that insect farm as well, because my plan over here is to get not just the alternative life center, but the mushroom walls extended this way as well. Now, actually, you know what? The more I think about it, the more I realize I might not have to demolish that guy, because, Alright, you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but my plan right now is to, yes, get the mess halls built up over here, get these ones removed, get the alternative life center down over here, and then perhaps build another mushroom wall down over here. And you know what, actually, at the end of the day, we're going to have to get rid of this insect farm because the mushroom wall is a little bit too big to fit just behind the alternative life center that'll come over here. It'll stick out a bit wider, and I do believe this insect farm has to go, which is not a problem because mushroom walls produce a lot more food than insect farms, and that's before mushroom walls have even been upgraded, right? So that's definitely the right call. But yes, we'll discuss that more when the time actually comes to make these changes, and time is actually sooner rather than later because these guys have been built a lot more quickly than I'd anticipated. Let's go ahead and dismantle, well, both of these guys, right? So let's go ahead and give the commands. Let's make sure we're staying on top of this because I would like to move this when we don't need that +2, right? We're at 4, so we don't need that +2 right now. Should our stability drop to 2 or 0, then we can't afford to be missing this +2. So now is the time to pull the trigger on this move, and as all this is happening, let's head on out to the system map and make some calls at first with regards to our medical district wreckage over here, and then with P.27 afterwards. So, to the medical district wreckage first. Summary of intelligence on Etamananki Research Facility. The facility has been constructed for more resilient materials and alloys than other parts of the ship. Most of its outer structure remains. A lot of the internal hardware does seem to have been laser cut and ripped out. Our team was able to extract some information from the few remaining data consoles. A sealed stasis box was discovered containing what can only be described as a test subject. Okay. Having reviewed associated research reports, the team believed that the experiment used Ashtangite technology and genetic material taken from charred leaves. Subject ZY6073, or Zulu Yankee 6073, as named on the outside of the stasis box, appears to be alive, but dormant. Oh no, folks, oh no. I know exactly what's coming next. Let's end this data listening protocol, and, yep, I knew it. God damn it. Retrieve Zulu Yankee 6073. Am I really about to leave what is, for all intents and purposes, an adult human male behind? Am I really going to leave a human behind? That's a decision for at least a little bit later, because we are going to collect this science first. Sure. Also, actually, since we're on this screen, we should send a probe out. Just as a reminder, we're planning on moving to this planet up over here in the relatively near future, so that we're a bit closer to the colony up over here and the science it has to offer, and we're also more easily able to recollect those colonists, right? So we're trying to find resources around this area so that it's easier and more efficient to mine and bring some of those resources over when we make that move. Thought I saw a sweet spot somewhere over here. I see the high there. Medium if we highlight both of them. Alright, fair enough. Why don't we pop on over to here? Seems to have a little bit of almost everything. And we'll send more probes. I mean, we're going to scout this place out very nicely before we even need to get up there, because there's still plenty to do down over here. We'll spend all that time scouting up over here, then we arrive at P51 to, take care of the science and colonists up over here, while mining everything much closer to P51. Nonetheless, back now to P37 to establish the infrastructure to support advanced analysis. Now, before I make the call on which ship actually delivers the resources here, I just want to check if we head on over to Sector 2, which is where most of these resources are already located. I want to make sure that we're not using this docking bay, because I don't think there's enough room here to stockpile all the alloys we need to take over, and so it'll probably actually go really slowly if we use either the Quicksilver or the Pandora. So instead, let's go ahead and use the Drakkar, sure, and that should move a lot more smoothly. And in fact, with the upgrades we've done to our cargo ships, this might actually just be a one trip as opposed to two, because normally they could only move 30 of any given resource at a time, but I think now they're able to move 50 at any given time, so that's actually kind of, that's cool. It'll take 1.2 cycles, supposedly. Sounds good to me. Let's get the party started, let's get this built up, then it'll take 4 cycles for us to actually, well, be able to use that infrastructure for anything, but I do feel a lot more comfortable building proper infrastructure. I do not want to lose more lives, right? I do not want to lose more lives. Now, our research into the mining ship upgrades has been completed. We're now chasing after photosensitive lamination, which will reduce the polymer cost of solar panels. That's all well and good, but folks, now is time for the next big conversation as far as the future of the Tiqqun. So, last session, I spent a lot of time lamenting the lack of offensive capabilities of the Tiqqun, right? That's why we were trying to bring that missile back in the hopes of, again, maybe making our probe launcher into a torpedo launcher or something, having some offensive capability. Well, that didn't work out. But this session, and between sessions, I began lamenting our lack of defensive capabilities. We have options. We haven't taken any of them. So now is the time to maybe focus on some of those before they get pushed to the side for too long and we find ourselves in trouble. Something out there, the Atamananki, got hit by a missile. A missile is an impact, and we have these kinetic compensation jacks that reduce hull damage taken from impacts. If we get hit by a missile, wouldn't it be nice to reduce how much damage it could actually do? Why, yes, it would be. So let's go ahead and queue that up. Reinforced steel cladding and steel fiber patches mainly reduce damage taken while moving. I don't know if that's going to be as important, but perhaps, because apart from just standing there and taking shots, it's also nice to not just stand there and not just take shots. We will also focus on our evasive capabilities. Previously, I was thinking about the Tiqqun moving quickly through storms and stuff, but now I'm wondering, well, moving faster applies to more than just space weather. So we were thinking about offensive previously, now I'm thinking about defensive and evasive, which arguably is also defensive. Either way, those are my focuses right now. We're going to try and move faster and faster. We're going to try and strengthen our hull, or at least prevent it from taking more damage when it does get hit, and then we're going to resume looking at, I don't know, some of the other options available to us, but I'm going to prioritize these. I'm kind of leaning towards stockpile upgrades afterwards. I would like to get to stockpile large before we open Sector 4 so we can plan around the actual footprint of the large stockpile, but that might take a little bit too long. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how many science points we acquire from the various, locations we're going to, but for the time being, that is the plan. And are we actually storing alloys up over here, or what's going on? Has the ship already been... Oh, wow. Oh, are you for real? You're only carrying 42? Why you gotta do me dirty like that, game? We were so close. We were so close. That really hurts. I mean, look, it's not the end of the world, right? We're very close to the planet, so it's fine, but that is a real kick in the nads. Anyway, it's okay. Up over here, this guy is still being dismantled, or we are topped up on alloys. Okay, fair enough. So why don't we go ahead and do what? Get you... stockpiling some alloys for the time being as well, just so we can free up this space over here. This guy's gonna have to be dismantled as well, so how are we gonna make enough room? I'm gonna have to get more of these guys stockpiling alloys. The cryonic pods over here are almost topped up, so that's not gonna be an option. Well, quite a bit to go over here. And if I go to build, let me just check here. If I go to build well, actually I can't build an alternative life center. I can't even take a look at how much space it'll take until we've dismantled this one. Or maybe if I order its dismantling, I'll be able to see what we can do here. Let's go ahead and do that. Actually, no, let's not. Pause, cancel destruction. Because I want to make sure they prioritize this one, right? Let's get that done first, and then we'll start fiddling. It's okay, again, we don't urgently need the alternative life center, so I don't mind that it's inactive right now. We're perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and send this additional probe out to... Oh, hello. There is a lot out here. There is a lot out here. Let's chase after the silicon over here. Sure. That sounds good to me. These guys are still waiting for more resources, and up over here, right, of course. We have finished collecting the science. Let's not dally. Let's go ahead and retrieve ZY6073. Would we use NATO alphabet or would we not? The question for the comments. Let me know what you think. Test subject Zulu Yankee 6073 is the size of an adult male and is currently dormant. The Lightbulbs team proposes transferring them to a cryopod and bringing them back on board the Tiqqun for further study. So, okay, look. My heart tells me we can't leave them behind, and the Lightbulbs team says the same. They're the experts, right? So go for it. Retrieve ZY6073. Until I decide whether we would use NATO alphabet or not, I'm going to go ahead and keep alternating between using it and not using it. Anyway, back on the Tiqqun. All this talk of battery-related stuff up over here reminds me to let you know that we actually can establish a Tier 2 battery here as well. As you pointed out in the comments, if we take a look at the Tier 2 battery, all we'd have to do is actually remove the road over here, and we'd have enough room. We'd have to get rid of this road as well, but in doing so, we'd have enough room to place the Tier 2 battery, though there is the downside of, well, I mean, you can see it right now. All materials are transferred through this, through this path over here. If we were to get rid of this connection, then those resources would have to move up this way, and there'd be a lot of backtracking involved, especially when trying to bring waste to the waste treatment center, or when trying to bring iron to the steel mill down over here, right? Like, they'd have to go all the way and around as opposed to a quicker route down here. Is that the end of the world, though? Truth be told, would I rather fuss over a few extra seconds of transferring goods from stockpile to processing, or would I rather fuss over not having enough juice when we have to move, or when our solar panels get destroyed, or whatever it might be, right? I think the batteries are more important than whatever time we're saving by having this road connection. That's my 2 cents at least. We're not in a rush to build that battery just quite yet, but when the time comes, that's the call I think I'm going to make, as advised by the comments, but let me know if you feel differently. I just think that's the way to go about it. And I just want to see, yeah, okay, I saw the 26 crew members were injured over here, and for some reason my mind registered it as like, well, some of them must have died, but no, because working conditions are optimal across the board because of our population spread. We're doing great. Now, down in Sector 3, we can actually fit Tier 2 batteries as well. It's kind of funny, I was talking so much smack about Tier 2 batteries, but it turns out they're a lot more conveniently sized, and we can actually fit them down over here, right next to our health center and our second health center that's to come as well. So that works out nicely, and that should help us tackle this objective over here, preparing for the Piranesi, making sure that we have enough backup power for 5 cycles, right? That should do the trick. And separately, let's go ahead and take a look at, the science ship light bulb over here and see what else we can do at the medical district wreckage. God damn it, are you for real right now? Are you for real right now? Showing no signs of lethargy, ZY6073 leaped onto the team as they opened the stasis box. Following a drop in comms connection, the team's vital signs began to change. Reviewing mission data, Eden postulates a form of assimilation has taken place. ZY6073 appears to have put on one of the team's suits and boarded the light bulb. Inputted flight path data suggests a planned return to the Tiqqun. Excuse me? Excuse me? That's not okay. NDLP there. Naomi Protocol, let ZY6073 return to the Tiqqun and do what? We will welcome it on board, providing further opportunities for study. What? That's madness, right? Oh my god. I mean, we'd be prepared now, as opposed to what happened to that entire science team. God damn it. God damn it. Fine. Let it return to the Tiqqun so that we can do something. Learn something from that immense loss of life. God damn it, let it return. Ship repatriated. Okay. If you say so, it's on its way back. At least we won't have to build an additional ship, I guess. Not like we lack the resources needed to do so. But I'm more curious about what there is to learn from this experiment. Doesn't seem like it would benefit humanity. This seems like it was an unreasonable risk that we've taken allowing it to come back, but curiosity got the better of me. Oh my god. Hey, it is what it is. Meanwhile, 3 cycles until they're done at P.37. Hopefully nobody gets, I don't know, turned into some strange body horror tool on the planet. This ship has slowly arrived. I mean, okay. Hey, look, you know what? At least we're prepared. At least we're prepared this time around. Let's go ahead and dismantle the Alternative Life Center. You want to talk about alternative life? How about that weird subject that's headed over right now? I'd call that alternative life. We are not even able to commission the construction of an additional one until this one's been completely dismantled. Okay, fair enough. But if we take a look at mushroom walls, just to see... yeah, you see it does stick out ever so slightly. And that's fine. What do we have over here with these batteries now? Administrator. We've been in the Theta Crucis system for too long. The crew is starting to doubt that we will ever find Remus, the home they were promised. And dead Earth sickness is rapidly becoming endemic in the Tiqqun. -1 to stability, acknowledged. That's okay, as soon as we leave this system, that'll be gone. And also, as I was saying earlier, stability is great across our entire station right now. So I'm not too concerned. Obviously, this is positive even without this alternative life center active, right? So it means we're doing at least something, right? Okay, this is good. This will be done soon, and there's room enough for the whole thing. Yes, no, because it's already stockpiling 40 polymers. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and get you stockpiling alloys as well now. And hopefully this will be the first to be emptied when we commission the construction of the new one, and we can assign it back to electronics. I mean, they'll reshuffle things if they have to, but it's just a horrendous mess. And that's why I want Sector 4 to be a bit of a stockpiling and production sector both. These electronics are really not moving around, are they? They're kind of located in Sector 2, and they're staying in Sector 2. What's going on with regards to that? Electronics, trying to keep 2. Oh, are we not able to? Of course. Let's get, polymers are still coming over here. Let's get this focused on stockpiling electronics for the time being. And as we get topped up on cryonic pods over here, we'll switch this back to cryonic pods as well. Cool. Back to the system map. Where is the light bulb? What's wrong with the Francis? You okay? Look okay. Where's the light bulb? The light bulb's back. Okay. You've returned? And we've done nothing? Oh no. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Alright, folks. Moment of truth. Administrator. The light bulb has docked with ZY6073 on board. You must decide on how to proceed. So we could use sterilization protocols to exterminate it, or we could neutralize it with the help of the crew. So use sterilization protocols to exterminate ZY6073. ZY6073 will be removed using aggressive sterilization measures designed to dissolve even the smallest of bacteria. Neutralize ZY6073 with the help of the crew. Docking bay workers will use every weapon at their disposal to neutralize ZY6073 while preserving the specimen for study. Oh, man, I know the second option is going to lead to the loss of life. Oh my goodness, people are just dropping dead everywhere now. Is that a risk I'm willing to take? We allowed this thing to get in here. What was the point of those scientists dying, and what was the point of not destroying this ship in transit? Neutralize it with the help of the crew. Trying to make some of these harder choices these days now. Let's see how this goes. Wow. Wow. Not worth it. Specimen ZY6073 was successfully captured. Several crew members died in the process, valiantly giving their lives for scientific progress. 30 science, 12 workers. Absolutely not worth the loss of life. 30 science, that's all you got for me? NDLP. I'm disappointed. I was expecting a nice, juicy windfall for the risks we took there. That's a real bummer. Alright, I need to double down on being less willing to take these risks. I need to course correct. I've been a little too negligent. I wouldn't even call it that. All these decisions have come from recommendations from our expert scientists or from a good place otherwise. But no, I bear full responsibility. God damn. That feels bad. Alright, so as you can see, we do need to get rid of this insect farm to place this mushroom wall. And we may as well, right? We may as well. Like, why keep this insect farm operational? I mean, what I might want to do is, first of all, stop you from stockpiling alloys, get you back to electronics. And then, yeah, I wonder if we get rid of you, see what that does to our numbers, and then either put a mushroom wall down now or hold off for the time being, because it's certainly not urgent. And hey, if we keep losing people, then we'll have enough food for everyone who's to come by an even greater degree. God, I hate it. Alright, we have progress on P37, and the light bulb can make its way out to the depressurized R&D district. I guess that's all there was to do at the medical district wreckage, eh? Wow, that's a bit of a bummer. Oh, this is also a bummer. We've lost our food rank 2 specialization for Sector 1. Okay, so with that noted, why don't we, yes, go ahead and build that mushroom wall then, just to have that advantage for us. This will take 1 electronics. That's fine. Copy down like so. It's somewhat snugly, and hopefully we'll have options with regards to what to do in the remaining space over here. Cool. Let's go ahead and do that, and let's also go ahead and, yes, resume our work over here. Light bulb is headed over to the depressurized R&D district, and over here at P37, what have we got? P37 was, until very recently, a gas giant. A nuclear reaction of immense magnitude dissipated the planet's gas and vitrified its formerly liquid core. This event caused P37 to deviate from its natural orbit. There is no evidence that this was triggered by a collision with an asteroid or other celestial body. Our theories suggest it was caused by an external intervention. Gee. I wonder who might have done this. Is it the UN or the Black Market Society? I don't know, but there is plenty of science to pick up now, and we're good to leave the planet, so why don't we? We're done here. Pick up that 65 science and watch this storm dissipate. Oh, that makes me feel a lot better. Great. Okay, cool. Take the good with the bad, right? And take the bad with the good. We are now able to pick our next technology. We should also queue something up. Let's go ahead and get the EKP engine with the Stanford upgrade. Research that. And I can't actually queue up post-luniclism chambering, but that is what I would like to do next, I think. Right? I want to move. I want to be able to move as quickly as possible. Alternatively, we could queue up structural repurposing, reducing the electronics cost required to unlock new sectors. Maybe a good idea. And then we can circle back to post-luniclism chambering, and then after that, the Faust tachyon injector, and then the stockpile upgrades I was talking about, right? This will take quite a bit of science to actually get done, so I don't want to prioritize that and fall behind on other matters. All right, oh boy, took a couple of gut punches this episode already. Why are we not moving polymers over here? What's going on? What's going on? Take a look at management over here. Polymers are being brought in. You're trying to hold on to 20. Sector 2, you are exporting to Sector 1 and 3. So why are we not seeing any shipments going through over here? You're looking to store. And that's strange. Stockpile failed to transfer resource to another sector during the last cycle. Yeah, I understand that. My question is why? Is it because everyone's too busy moving stuff around? And so there were no free workers to ship polymers over? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. And what's going on in Sector 2? Oh, just this accident. I was wondering if it was one that we had to take care of ourselves. Okay. Hang on a second. Sector 2, polymers are being exported. Yes, let's go ahead and prioritize Sector 3, I suppose. Oh, I think we see some movement now. Numbers certainly changed. And it looks like... Oh, weird. Okay. Oh, sure. Hey, it is what it is. It's fine. It's fine. Otherwise, cryonic pods. Right, they're topped up over here. So let's go ahead and get these guys switched over. And let's make sure that Sector 3's cryonic pods are targeting 0. And Sector 1 is trying to pull as many as it can. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Now the solar panel is almost ready to be built. We just need more polymers, and they are coming through. My apologies. Was I calling them alloys previously? I meant polymers. My apologies if I got that mixed up. But looks like we're finally actually seeing some movement over here, which is nice to see. Separately, we have arrived at the depressurized R&D district. Another opportunity to lose troops, I'm sure. Let's collect the science here first, and then make a decision afterwards. As over here, the Francis has completed its tasks as well. Do we go all the way up to P.42 now? Is there anything else worth investigating down over here? I suppose not. We could send a probe out to see if there's another planet in the area. There might be. Is there a point of interest somewhere here? Come on. Because we got this one out over here. We haven't seen one on the outermost ring, have we? I don't believe we have. Oh, something up over here. There we go. Send you over to there. Oh, come on. So close to being able to get resources as well as a point of interest, but not close enough. So there's something up over there. Okay, fair enough. This ring is taken care of. This ring, have we found something? We have. This ring, we have found something. Yes. This ring, ooh, we haven't found a planet for this this ring, I don't think. There's one somewhere up over here, maybe, it looks like. No? Hang on a second. Or was this the... Oh, wait, hang on. We're at the planet. Sorry. All right, in that case, let's go ahead and send you over to here. Figure out what's going on over there. And let's get the Francis headed up to P.42. Pick all that science up. And the light bulb can deal with the depressurized R&D district, and then head over to this planet to investigate whatever's going on over here afterwards. That sounds reasonable to me. Back at the Tiqqun, is everything looking okay? Sector 1 has completed its additional mushroom wall over here. Can we actually fit another one? I don't think so. Yeah, we're just one tile short. Just one tile short. So if I'd actually built this a bit over, we'd be able to fit another one. And down the line, I might do that. I might sort of adjust how these guys are laid out just to get that extra mushroom wall over there. But for the time being, I'm fine with how things are operating right now. Again, we've secured that tier 2 food boost, right? And I wanted to make sure we had that. That's the only reason this one's been built in the first place. So I'm not in, not too stressed about that. But yes, let's go ahead and build the battery up over here. Folks are happy once more at stability 3, so that's all good to see. And how do we want to do this? Well, do we want to do this? Electronics. Oh, man. This game, honestly, makes me feel like I'm up against a wall, even when things are going relatively smoothly. Do I need to rush the electronics here? Or do I want to open Sector 4 first? I think I want to open Sector 4 first. I forget how much it costs to build a train station. Unlocking the sector itself is 3 electronics. I want to wait a little bit of time. I want to wait just a little bit longer, and then we'll start making some of these moves. My apologies for the delay there, folks, but I do think it's the right way to go about it. Over to the depressurized R&D district to see exactly what there is to kill us over here. Summary of data on Etamananki wreckage. Our sensors have identified a part of the Etamananki adrift in the CRUC system. Initial readings show no thermal activity, power signatures, or identifiable signs of life. Transmission from the light bulb's team. This is the crew of the light bulb. This section of wreckage is massive. We believe it's the remains of a research and development district. The laboratories we've seen look virtually destroyed, but we did find an intact security room. A sign above its entryway reads Orne 8. To access the room, we'll need power from the Tiqqun via the RTP. Unfortunately, specific accreditation is also required to open the room's armored door. The neighboring residential area has collapsed, making the balance of this area unstable. We have spotted some emergency cryopods within the debris, though it doesn't look like there was enough time for a full evacuation. Aw man, just warning signs everywhere here, just warning signs everywhere. So the neighboring residential area has collapsed, making the balance of this area unstable. So do we really want to investigate the residential area and be done in by a cave-in? I don't think so. We could search the labs and see what other research and test subjects they have that'll kill us, I suppose. We did find an intact security room. Now what I'm curious about is have we missed out on an opportunity over here to actually gain access to the security room? I'm thinking back to the second system we were in, right? Where we managed to get the biometric data that gave us access. Oh no, that was actually Sol. That was our home system, where we gained access to that biometric data that allowed us access to a special room that had extra goodies for us, right? I wonder if we've missed out on an opportunity there. Nonetheless, let's search the laboratories first, or the laboratories first. The Lightbulb team will search the former laboratory area to find out what research was done on the Etamananki. Really, I would rather not know, I think. But hey, we're about to find out nonetheless. There are a lot of cryonic pods out there, my goodness. My goodness. Now again, the flow of cryonic pods has been slowed down a little bit lately because of how our storage has been working, right? Because of the bottleneck we were seeing in Sector 3. But hopefully, with this now done here, that will be sorted. Looks like they're moving cryonic pods over, but obviously over here, we're almost topped up as well, so it's not like they can move particularly quickly. I'm almost tempted to put a stockpile down over here, get rid of the road, just even temporarily to bring the cryonic pods back over here, you know? Almost tempted. Electronics over here, producing at an okay rate. This waste treatment center is also producing electronics at an okay rate. Sounds good. We are very close to being able to build the solar panels outside. It's almost tempting to cancel that so that we can focus on Sector 4, but no, we've come so far. Why pull back now? Are polymers still coming through? No, they're not. Oh, are we low on polymers? Are we low on carbon? We might be. Fleet management. Let's make sure we're bringing some carbon in then. Omnitron over here. Let's stop you mining iron. Let's focus on carbon. Now let's get the cataphract doing the same thing. We got plenty of iron available out there. We just got to keep an eye on this to make sure that when it does start to get low, we're able to get somebody back on task there. But we are very low on carbon, which means we're very low on polymers as well. Okay, holding off on sending any more probes for the time being, because I would very much like to, yes, complete some of these solar panel upgrades before we leave this system as well, right? Lots of things we want to get done before we leave this place, including, of course, our primary objectives. Over to the system map, things are looking okay. We're almost at P42. That's a lot of science that's going to start flowing soon, and I do believe we're able to pick our next technology. So over to the EKP engine, let's go ahead and research post-lunaclism chambering. And let's also, well, we can't queue up the Frostpunk tachyon injector, so we'll leave it be for the time being. And then maybe we'll double back to the mining ship, or, as some of you suggested, we'll pursue upgrades to our science ship. Science generated during exploration has increased by 5, 10, and 15%. Not bad things to have, I suppose. So maybe we should, in fact, chase after some of those. Let's queue this up, and we'll go back and forth a little bit. There's plenty of science still to be picked up in this system, so maybe I shouldn't be so nervous about how we spend some of it. In the meantime, things are looking all right. 4.6 batteries, 4.8 batteries. Cool. And up over here, we're at 3.8, but we're yet to build our big battery, so that's fine. Mess halls are all operational. Mushroom walls are doing very well, so this is all looking very good. And why don't we go ahead and check out our colony over here at P42, as we've already finished researching the post-lunaclism chambering. Does that actually make us look different? I can't tell. Perhaps I should have kept my eyes on it when the research was unlocked, but I can't tell if this actually looks different. Nonetheless, over to, as I was saying, a colony at P42. What's going on here? We have finished our colonization test on CRUC P42. Colonization success rates of planets like P42 are estimated to be about 25.12%. Please authorize extraction preparation. Sever communications. Dulles' contractual terms stipulate the possibility of crew member abandonment in the event of an emergency situation. The colonists were aware of what they signed up for. No, no, no. Bring them back. The colonists have completed their work. They will prepare for extraction. It'll take 2 cycles for them to prepare, and then we'll have, well, cargo ships hopefully on hand to bring them over. But by that time, I intend to actually have the Tiqqun up at P.21. In fact, why don't we make that move right now? We're done over here. There's some iron to pick up still over there, but that's okay because we're stopping that process. Carbon's available over here. Do we have any carbon over here? We do indeed. All the way down there. I wonder if we can't send another probe seeking carbon specifically, just to make life a bit easier on that front. Seems to be reasonably densely packed over here, so there is an option. Anything else nearby? Nothing closer than this, at least. Alright, fair enough. Let's go ahead and pursue the carbon deposit right there. Sure. Let's do that. Spend 3 more polymers on an additional probe, and watch the solar panel upgrade get completed. I believe, yeah, sweet, cool. I'm glad to have that box checked, because that lasted a lot longer than I'd anticipated. Let's go ahead and research the Frostpunk injector, and then we can go ahead and make our move, and let's queue up disruptive study protocols as well. Cool. Just try and get as much science as we can per anomaly, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, sure. I think I'll keep the priorities in that order. Are we moving cryonic pods as quickly as we can, I suppose? Not quickly enough. We're trying. We're trying to stay on top of things. If we take a look at fleet management over here. I feel like we could be doing a bit better. Let's, you know what, go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and build a temporary stockpile back over here, perhaps? Or even up over here. That way we'll be forced to dismantle it. Nah, you know what? Because if it gets filled up with cryonic pods, we might not be able to actually demolish it until they've all been woken up. So that's not really an option. Let's instead get rid of this road over here. I believe there's a road connection on the other side as well. Yeah, there is. And let's go ahead and build a stockpile over here, like so. And we'll have this bring cryonic pods in as well. And that way, Sector 3 can at least keep them moving, right? I'll have to wait until it's finished being built before I can increase the max. And I actually also have to get these guys queued up, because let's focus on our stockpiles after we're done a couple of upgrades with our science ships, as we're working on right now. I think that makes the most sense, considering the situation we find ourselves in. Oh, and look at that! This docking bay is going to be emptied before I'm even able to go in and click this button. Almost. It's okay. Can I build another one? No. I can build one up over here. Again, it's temporary. Right? Eventually we'll use it for something else, like waste perhaps, but for the time being, sure, let's go ahead and do that, and let's try and bring these cryonic pods over here as quickly as possible, primarily so that we can reassign this to focus on electronics, or, I don't know, something, right? Or at least so that our cargo ships are able to keep the flow of goods coming. I'm almost tempted to build another docking bay over here, but you know what, with 10 electronics, it might be time to pop open the next sector. First, just want to take a look at our situation here, and then consider the next sector. Maybe I should move to P.51 before I do that, but to the depressurized R&D district first. The laboratories were severely damaged by the Etmananki's depressurization. Most equipment has either been destroyed or is missing. The team found clear traces of laser cutting. Floors and walls have been ripped open. The R&D district was a secure area studying not only space-related phenomena, but also technologies considered forbidden by the UN. Recovered research reports mention Dulles, BMS, and Ashtonite inventions being studied. Also noted in the reports is the quarters location for the area's techno-supervisor. They possess the accreditation required to open the security room's door. There you go. Okay, fair enough. That's a lot more cryonic pods ready for extraction, and plenty of science too. Let's end the DLP there. For the time being, let's hang tight. Let's pick up all the science there is to pick up, and then we'll go ahead and locate the techno-supervisor's quarters to see what's in that secure room. For the time being, it looks like this mining ship is headed up over here. You know what? Yeah, it might be time to pull the trigger on the Tiqqun's move. Let's do it. I see no reason to stay here any longer. We do have the cataphract down over here mining some carbon, but maybe that's pointless. Let's stop avoiding these guys. You as well. Let's stop avoiding you so that we don't run out of these guys sooner than reality, right? And We're almost done at P42. Event available up over there as well. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at that first. Good stuff. The colonists are prepared for extraction. They are waiting for cargo ship retrieval. 90 colonists. Let's go ahead and end data listening protocol. It'll just be a matter of time before we have a cargo ship available to actually bring them over. Let's make our move. The Tiqqun is going to head on over to P51. I think that's the most centralized location as far as all of these resources are concerned, including the colonists up over there. It'll take us 4 cycles. Now, how long would it take us to get up to P42? 5 cycles. So it went from about 5.4 to about 5. All right, okay. Nonetheless, P51 is 4 cycles. I do believe we have almost enough battery across the board. Sector 1 leaves something to be desired. Why don't we go ahead and do this? Tiqqun, over to P51. Let's make our way over. And as we do so, I'm going to make some adjustments to Sector 1. Nothing major. Nothing major is really necessary, I don't think. But Sector 1... let's go ahead and turn this mushroom wall off. Let's go ahead and turn this mushroom wall off as well. And maybe a few of these guys too. They don't all need to be operational right now. There you go. That's 4 cycles worth of battery power. We'll come back here and turn these guys back on afterwards, but for the time being, they should be okay. Currently a negative 27 balance per cycle. That's completely manageable. Good to know what the number is actually going to be given our current circumstances. And again, that's without this EVA airlock active. If this gets turned on, we should see plus 27. I don't think I need that right now. It doesn't hurt to keep this EVA airlock on, but I'll probably forget to turn it off later. So let's just turn it off and make our journey. Let's go. Negative 27 per cycle times 4, 80, 100. Yeah, we'll have integrity left over. We'll be fine. We will be just fine. Still recovering science from over here. Looks like the Francis has done its task up there, so let's send you down to P41. You actually completed your task before the work over here was done. Shouldn't be surprised by that, actually. Let's get everyone moving. Storage bays have been improved. Back to the Tiqqun. Let's go ahead and take a look at our tech tree. Now let's pursue what? Structural reconfiguration or the medium stockpile? Sorry about that edit over there. My recording software decided to crash unexpectedly, but you didn't miss too much. All I was pointing out was that the large stockpile will actually require the medium upgrade, the structural reconfiguration upgrade, and the vertical parking upgrade. So we've queued up the reconfiguration as well as vertical parking, and then we'll go ahead and pursue the medium stockpile, followed by the large stockpile. And I think all the timings will work out perfectly for us to then unlock Sector 4 and make sure that it's actually built around the larger stockpile. And then that can kind of be our warehouse. It'll have an industrial segment as well, like I was saying earlier, but it can primarily act as our warehouse to store everything until a sector needs it, and then ship stuff over to that sector that needs it. Hopefully stuff moves quickly enough, because it is, if Sector 1 needs something, that's a long way to go from Sector 4 to Sector 1, but hopefully it works smoothly enough. We'll see. All right, this guy's bringing some stuff over as well. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at resource management and make sure Sector 1's cryonic pods are maxed out. Cool. And we do now also have, of course, the upgrades kicking in, right? So that's very nice to see as well. Let's get you flipped back to polymers over here, just to make sure that those get used and they are accessible for when needed. And you are set to electronics. Yes, okay, excellent. Everything's looking good. Everything's looking great. Everything's looking absolutely fantastic. Iron alloys looking good. Looking great. Electronics are also looking decent right now. I almost wonder if I should prioritize that health center redundancy or Sector 4. Nonetheless, let's take a quick peek out over here as we journey through space. I don't spend enough time appreciating just this visual. It's so nice. I appreciate it much more than words could express. Just like the space particles and dust and stuff, it's so cool to me. It's just so cool to me. Yeah, we're making our way over. It'll take us some time to get there still. We got plenty of batteries. We'll be just fine. There's structural reconfiguration completed as well. Back to the interior, over to our tech tree. Let's get the next thing queued up, stockpile medium. And then we'll, oh no, sorry, vertical parking. Hang on a second. Vertical parking, and then stockpile medium. Sorry. Don't know. The crash threw me off a little bit. But yes, that's good. That's good. And then stockpile large. Okay, that's all great. That is all great. How are we looking, actually? We're still producing electronics. We don't have enough waste for the waste treatment center to do the same, but it'll all come through eventually, I'm sure. Yeah, that's fine. And again, we're struggling with actually moving electronics around, so I wonder what that's about. Oh, it's because you're stockpiling cryonic pods, not electronics. That's okay. We can, at some point in time, change who's stockpiling what to bring more electronics over here. For the purpose of unlocking this sector, obviously. Alternatively, I suppose, we could unlock this sector instead. There's nothing saying we have to go in one direction or the other, so we could just go this way instead, and make, I don't know how the numbering will go. I assume it'll throw me off, so we're going to stick with how the game intends things to be, I think. But yeah, there's solutions for the non-problems I'm mentioning there. Let's speed time up a little bit over here. Things are looking pretty good. We are almost at our new destination. We are, in fact, at our new destination, and just settling into the right orientation. Cool. The texture looks a little funky on the planet there, but that's okay. And look at that. We've actually maintained batteries across the board for that journey. Good stuff. Good stuff. Back to the interior over here then. In Sector 1, we want to make sure that our mushroom walls have been reactivated so that we are still producing as much food as needed. What does it look like over here? 272%. If we turn this mushroom wall on as well, it won't... Oh, it will update immediately. 200. So we're still at 300% of requirement. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now I wonder, once we get the large stockpile done, do we want to go back to our cryonic center and actually increase the speed of waking people up? Because we're kind of at that tipping point now, right? Where it's like, we got to really quickly wake these guys up. If we want to leave this system anytime in the near future, we got to get to work on that sooner rather than later. Let's start with the large stockpile. Collapsible frames can wait, but maybe it's not a bad idea. Yeah, to pursue that. I'm just wondering if we want to focus instead on the dedicated exploration PA. But then we'll need the post-lunicalism science ship, which will in turn need EKP optimization. That's a hefty investment. That's a hefty investment. Okay, fair enough. Alternatively, well, I don't think we need to chase after things like mushroom walls right now. Let's be real. Let's be real. We're doing fine as far as food is concerned. We don't need algae farms or anything either. Sure. Why don't we let the... It's all happening so fast. We'll let the large stockpile be unlocked, and then we can go ahead and focus on the cryonic center upgrade. It completely escaped my mind what I was even talking about doing, because it's such a distant thought as far as priorities. At least it used to be, but now we're in a very different situation. So sure, let's go ahead and research post-decryonization treatment, and with that done, let's head on out to the system map and take a look at the depressurized R&D district before we take a look at Cruck P.41. Right over here, we're just going to locate the techno supervisor's quarters within the residential area, and hopefully nobody dies, right? Again, we know it's dangerous, but life or risks, I suppose, right? And over at P.41, what have we got? Summary of intelligence on P.41 scans. CRUC P.41 is a telluric planet with a small quantity of water present as ice. There are many large black telluric formations across its surface. The atmosphere of P.41 is heavy with cloud cover, and storms envelop the planet, scouring it with solid aluminium rain. Eden has noted a formation of particular interest. Transmission from the Francis team. This is the Francis team. We have landed near Site 0. We should be protected from the aluminium rain here. We've located the formation of unknown origin and are commencing exploration of the site. Sure. Yeah, investigate the formation. The Francis team will investigate the unusual formation. Let's see what's going on here. Very curious. Hopefully it'll provide us with some science to accelerate our research once more. I've gotten so used to what we had. But it's okay, because P.51 is going to provide us with some science as well when the time comes. And that's not too far away, actually. Do I want to send more probes out? Polymers are looking good once more. Though, I could also upgrade our solar panels. Nah. I want to use those electronics to open up Sector 4, right? I think so. 5 electronics. Oh, actually we have a little bit for both endeavors, I suppose. We do. Though, actually, rather than solar panels, sorry, perhaps I should pursue the redundancy as far as our health center is concerned, right? And look at that. Stockpile large is... Holy... Wow. They weren't kidding with the descriptor. Large is certainly large. And how much do you actually store? 720 units as opposed to 120. 720 units, but only of a single resource. Only of a single resource, right? So it would fit somewhat snugly up against one of the sides, but that's where we'd want the docking bays to be. Down the middle, it feels like it almost wastes a lot of space. I'll have to do some math with regards to how these guys will be laid out. This is going to be interesting, because Sector 4 is going to be laid out very differently, I think, from any of our other sectors, just to facilitate its role as, a warehouse / industrial sector. I was hoping I'd be able to follow, the layout that we were previously pursuing over here. Now, obviously, we were able to get rid of quite a few of the demotic quarters, so it doesn't look anything like it once did, but I don't think that's going to be an option. Like, if I take a look at the large stockpile, okay, we might start with the small stuff and then course correct accordingly as we move further and further along. Silicon is seriously topped up, eh? Oh, hang on a second. Let's get to mining ice. No, we don't need to mine ice. There's plenty of ice out there. Let's make sure we're picking some up, though. And let's get to mining some iron, I suppose. Right? There's plenty of it, but this guy's not doing anything right now. Oh, sure, let's do that. Why not? Alright, okay. Yeah, with Sector 4 unlocked, we'll get some more cargo ships going, and then we'll start moving resources a lot more quickly, I think. And we might even use Sector 4 to actually stockpile cryonic pods. Well, to stockpile everything. I'm not 100% set on layout, but that is something we'll discuss more next time when we actually unlock Sector 4 and finish off with this system as well. I think we're pretty close to being done over here, folks. Just a few more things to investigate. We got to bring those colonists back. There are a lot of cryonic pods to pick up, but with that additional sector unlocked, if we just get those 3 cargo ships prioritizing cryonic pods as the first thing they do, we should be ready to move. I mean, we'd have to wake up, another 1,300 of them with our technology in place. That should be working a lot faster than before. And batteries and stuff are looking almost ready to go as well, so I'm not too concerned about that situation. Alright, lots to do next time, folks. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know down below with a like and a comment. As always, it makes a very big difference in just letting me know what people are enjoying on the channel and what I should keep doing, what I should speed up, slow down, etc., etc. Again, I do read all of the comments, so if you have any thoughts, opinions, or questions, feel free to ask or share down below, and they will get addressed in one way, shape, or form. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.